Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a budget video for you guys. I'm just going to be setting up for the month of June, so that way you guys can see how I set it up. And then for next week's video, I will be filming how I keep track of my finances, kind of like a week by week. So let's get started. So we're getting into the last month of my Erin Condren Deluxe Monthly, and I don't plan on purchasing another one. It's not that I didn't love this, I do, but because the new Erin Condren Life Planner has added pages, I want to see if I can make that a budget slash planner just to save a little bit of money. But if the Life Planner doesn't work out as far as doing my budget, I will be getting another Deluxe Monthly, but for now we'll just see how that goes. So for the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to split this page in half. I do my budget bi-weekly just so that we are able to keep track of our money better. I just find that this works better for our family. When we do a whole month-long budget and we give ourselves a budget for each thing, I feel like it's easier for us to overspend and just kind of lose track, and other things come up, and I feel like we would come up short a lot. So I feel that doing bi-weekly planning is better for our family. So let's get started. And I would like to mention that my husband gets paid weekly, and the reason why we started doing bi-weekly is because my husband used to be military and we would get paid on the 1st and 15th of every month, and we had been doing that since we had been married and on our own, and since that was what we knew, we figured we'd just kind of stick to that. So and I will be using one of these Erin Condren stickers to put June. Just so I know. I mean, I can easily see what month it is, but this just kind of adds. This just kind of helps me know what month it is a little bit more. Because if you're anything like me, forget things very easily. Let's put that right there. Okay. Because some of this is finances, there are going to be a couple things that I will not be adding on here just for personal reasons. But for the most part, you guys will have a general idea of how I do this. Alright, let's get started. So at the very top, I usually like to put the income, which is going to be left blank, but I will put the income up here, and we don't have a second income coming in at the moment, so it's usually just that. So I'll write on both sides. And then I start writing in all of our finances. So the SF for us stands for sinking funds. And if you are not familiar with sinking funds is, I will put a link down below of Jen from Jen Plan's sinking funds, just so you guys can have a better idea. because we have Father's Day coming up, I need to add that into our expenses, and we also have a birthday party coming up, so I need to add that in as well. Okay. Okay. Oh, and then you also have swim lessons coming in there. Okay, I think I have everything. So let me just fill this out and I'll be right back. And if I calculate this out, so the total here I have 2,540 and 22 cents. Okay, for the next one, calculate that. And that is $2,553.64. And then this part I'll fill out. I'll subtract the income from this, and this will be the leftover money that we have that we use as a buffer. So to give you guys some information about the way I'm doing this, for our car insurance, we're doing the premium, and I divided the premium by 6, and I then took that total and divided it by 2, so that way I could split it evenly between two pay periods, so that we're able to even out what we're paying. And I've actually done that with a bunch of my bills. Mortgage has been cut in half. I've taken an estimation of our utilities and cut that in half. And the reason why you don't see the electric is because the electric gets paid the very beginning of the month, like the first half of the month, and it's not such a big bill that I have to split it. So I've done that. What else? I've done that with Geico. We have a Christmas sinking fund, so that way that we started in January, so that way once Christmas comes, we have that money put aside, and we don't have to worry about using credit cards, which is what we used to do in the past, and it would rack up a big bill. So we don't have to worry about credit cards, and we just don't have to worry about spending anything on Christmas in general, because that money will be on the side for presents and decorations and just anything we need for the holidays, Christmas tree, etc. We do $30 a week to eat out. So since there's 2 weeks for us, we did $60 on each one. And our HOA is a yearly bill as well. So I've split that into 12, and we have been left with $32, which also goes into our sinking funds monthly. And we do a birthday party sinking fund, so that once our kids, their birthday comes up, we also have that money put away, because that is another expense for us that tends to get very expensive very easily. So that is put away. And same thing with our kids' clothes. We're putting money aside for when our daughter starts 2nd grade. And Father's Day has just been kind of thrown in there because we're able to swing that. As you can see, our total is pretty even, is pretty close to being even, and which is also something I like to do. That way we have a pretty even amount of leftover money after all the bills and everything has been paid. So that is how I've been doing it. I hope I've explained that. I hope that I've explained that enough for you guys to understand. If you have any questions, please leave a comment down below and I'll be happy to answer it in the best of my abilities. But that's how I've been doing that. So when we get into the month of June, I'm probably not going to fill this out right now because I like to track it throughout the week. But what I do is I grab some stickers and and you guys will see next week, I write down the bills and how much they are, and I check them off once I've recorded them. A lot of this idea I've got from Jen Plans, and I will link her YouTube down below. So that is how I do that. And sometimes here I'll write down like all the other expenses that will happen, but for the most part I tend to leave that blank. And then, so when you go to this side, this notes page, I will write down how I set this up, and then I'll explain it to you guys right after I'm done. So just give me 1 second while I set this up. So what I'm doing is I am tracking the 4 things that we tend to overspend. And for us, that's groceries, gas, eating out, and just any other random things that come up. So since this is broken up into 2 different pay periods, I do, like for instance, the first week of the pay period, I put down how much we're budgeted. So for instance, groceries, I budgeted $4.50, gas, I did $2.50, eating out, I did $60, and then the other would just be whatever is left over money that we had after all the bills were paid. And then from there, I would, for the first week, I would record how much of the grocery money I've spent, how much of the gas, and how much of the eating out, and then whatever other expense we had. And then I would subtract these two and put the leftover. And then when the next week came, I would put the leftover over to the remainder and put those down, and then put how much I've spent for the second week when I record, and then whatever is left over. And usually around here is when I'll put if we've gone over or if we're staying under by putting a plus or a minus sign. And that's how I track that. And I do the same for the other following weeks. And this idea, I can't remember her name exactly, and I apologize for the person that gave me this idea, but I will put her YouTube video and her name at the description box below so that she gets credit for the fact that she did, you know, inspire me on how to do this. There is some things that I have changed, which is this part and the fact that she does it a monthly budget instead of a bi-weekly. So there is some things that I did change around, but I will still give her credit for the fact that she did help me. She did help give me this idea. Okay, and for the last thing that I do is, let me set this up and then I'll show you guys after I'm done. Okay, so I believe I put all the expenses that have the potential of going up or down. That have the potential of going up and down. So like, I mean, mortgage is usually should be the same, but I just put that there just in case. Electric is one of those, electric and utilities are one of those bills that tend to go up and down, and I try to budget it the best of my ability, but it's always good for me to record it and tell me if it went over the budget or under the budget by putting a plus or negative. And same with Netflix and Hulu, those things tend to go up or down in price as you're subscribed to them. With my daughter's gymnastics, there are times where I have to pay a little bit more depending on how many weeks are in each session. And Xfinity, like just any of these expenses like Father's Day and birthday presents and massage and nails, these things can always change. Like I could always accidentally overspend on my budget or underspend. So I like to add these in just to kind of keep track and see if I'm going under or over the budget. And it's just to kind of give me an idea, a visual idea of where my money is going, and if we're ever, you know, starting to see our leftovers dwindle a little bit, we have an idea of where it's going. So, yep, that is my setup. Oh, and okay, and the last thing that I record are my sinking funds. believe that's all of my sinking funds. I'm not going to fill this out right now. I will fill this out on my next video just because I don't have all this information at hand right now. And yeah, so just to kind of give you guys an idea, I put the categories. So we do have a Christmas sinking funds, a kids' clothes, birthday sinking funds, Geico, HOA, and for tires because my husband needs new tires. As you know, time goes, I will be adding on more to it, like dental and just anything else that comes up. What I do is each month I put how much of each sinking funds that we have, which I do not have at the top of my head right now, and then on the plus area I put in how much money I've added for this month to the sinking funds, and for the minus, if I ever have to take out of the sinking funds, I put in how much I've taken out, and then this is just the remaining balance of each sinking fund just to kind of see where I'm at. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any more questions down below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're new. Thank you so much, guys, and I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye.